My dad has stage 3 lung cancer. I found out 6 weeks ago when my aunt called me because apparently he didn't have the nerve to do it himself. That detail matters. Keep it in mind. I'm 34. I have 2 boys, 7 and 4. My dad has met them a combined total of maybe 9 or 10 times in their lives. Not because of distance. He lives 40 minutes away. It's because after my parents divorced when I was 11, my dad treated visitation like something that occasionally happened to him rather than something he chose. By the time I was 15, I'd stopped holding my breath on Friday nights. By 17, I'd stopped feeling much about it at all, which, looking back, might have been the worst part. We have a surface-level relationship now. Birthday texts. An awkward lunch maybe once a year where he asks about work, and I answer in short sentences, and we both pretend that's normal. My wife has met him 4 times. She described him once as a stranger who knows your name, and I laughed because it was accurate and because laughing was easier than the other thing. So 6 weeks ago, cancer. And 3 weeks ago, a phone call from him directly, which was already unusual. He wanted to know if he could spend some real time with the boys before things got worse. He used that phrase, before things got worse. He was crying, I think, or close to it. His voice had that held-together quality. I told him I needed to think about it. He said he understood. I talked to my wife that night. She didn't tell me what to do, which I appreciated, but she did say that the boys don't really know him, and that either way we'd have to do some explaining. She was right. My 4-year-old has no idea who he is. My 7-year-old knows he exists the way he knows the names of planets. Technically, not personally. I called my dad back after 4 days. I told him no. I told him I wasn't going to introduce my kids to a grandfather figure right now, in a context that would likely end in loss, to a man they've never had a real relationship with. I said I didn't think it was fair to them to build something with an expiration date, and I didn't think it was fair to me to manage that grief on top of everything else I was already carrying about him. He went quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I know I wasn't there. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm asking about your boys." And I said, "I know, but they're my boys." I got off the phone and sat in my car in the driveway for about 20 minutes. My aunt called 2 days later. I don't know exactly what he told her, but she was not gentle about it. She said I was punishing a dying man for the sins of the past and that my kids had a right to know their grandfather. She said I was being cruel. She said I would regret this. My brother, who had a different experience with my dad because he's 7 years older and got more of the good years, told me he thought I was making a mistake, but that he respected it was my call. That conversation was harder somehow. The gentleness of it. I've been going back and forth on this more than I expected to. Part of me keeps revisiting his voice on the phone, the held-together quality. Part of me thinks I am protecting my kids from something real. My 7-year-old is already emotionally intense. He feels things big and long, and I know what it would look like for him to bond with someone over 6 months and then lose them. I've made that calculus and I stand behind it. But I also know that I'm not only thinking about my kids. I know that somewhere in this decision is the 11-year-old who waited on Friday nights. I know that the two things are tangled up in a way I can't fully separate, and I'm not sure I'm supposed to. And I'm not sure it makes me wrong even if I can't. My dad hasn't called again. It's been 11 days. I don't know if he's waiting on me, or if he's done trying, or if he's just tired. I don't know which of those possibilities sits worse. My wife hasn't pushed me either way. She checks in on me in this quiet way she has, a hand on the shoulder when I'm doing dishes, and I think she's more worried about me than she's letting on. I don't have anyone in my life I can ask this straight. Everyone is too close to it or too far from it. So, am I the asshole?